I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, AmeriCorps members serving with International Council for Refugees and Immigrants help students from refugee and immigrant families overcome cultural barriers and adapt to life in Nebraska. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey. It's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, members serving with AmeriCorps programs like Partnership for Kids provide kids with the support they need to succeed in school and prepare for their dream career. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America, this is What's Next 24. With the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome into What's Next 24. Harrison Owens on the ones and twos, as always, come Sunday morning. If you guys want to join in, the Starter Heyman text line is always 402-464-5685. You can put a face to the voice. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, channel 961. We got a full studio in here this morning, so definitely encourage you guys to go ahead and join the stream. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and bring in the host as always. We got Mike and Sherry in studio.
Well, welcome to What's Next on 93.7 The Ticket. This is the first show for 2025, and we're just so thrilled. Talk about a new year, an exciting year. Harrison, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, I try to read more books. I did that the 1 year, did really good on it. Tried to go for year 2, struggled with it. So we're going on year 3 now.
Year 3,
yeah,
absolutely.
Third time's the charm, Harrison.
Yeah, that's the goal. If I can't get it down, a book a month, that's what we're shooting for.
Well, I thought real quick for today, I wanted to start out with an engaging question. What if the hardships you face today could become the stepping stones for your greatest growth tomorrow? In today's show, we delve into the profound journey of turning tragedy into personal growth, the power of remembering your why, and the art of creating events that bring people together. We'll also share insights on finding mentors and adopting transformative mindsets that shape our future. We're so happy about our show this year. We've had a great couple months here that our show every week, we want to explore stories of resilience, heartache, joy, and growth that bring you inspiring conversation and actionable insights. Our goal is to help you navigate your life's journey to create a lasting legacy. I'm Mike, and I'm along with Sherry,
and Harrison.
And together, we're the authors of Next 24, a book that guides you in discovering happiness and true joy while creating a legacy. Through our own experiences of heartache and growth, we'll share transformative stories and strategies to empower your path. Our mission is to help inspire. So with that, stay tuned as we discover 5 points today for turning hardship into growth. Remembering your why, thinking with a legacy mindset, seeking a great mentor, and creating impactful events that provide great value. Sherry, with that, I'll turn it over to you if you'd want to introduce our special guest today.
I can't wait. Good morning, people. And I hope you're all safe and warm and off the streets this morning. That's for sure. We are so excited, and we have such just an amazing privilege of introducing a truly inspiring entrepreneur and his family who has turned his passion into a thriving business. Joining us is Daniel Anderson, the owner of Stratum Productions, a premier audio-visual production company serving Eastern Nebraska. Daniel's journey into the live event. I can't talk this morning.
Oh, that's all right. It happens to the best
blah,
of us.
blah, 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 blah. Daniel's journey into the live event production industry began right after high school. Though financial challenges initially diverted his path, his passion never wavered. 10 years later, recognizing a unique opportunity in the local market, Daniel took a very bold step to establish Stratum Productions. Since then, he's skillfully balanced a full-time military career in Grand Island. Thank you for your service, by the way. With managing and growing his business in Lincoln, Stratum Productions specializes in professional audio, lighting, photo booth rentals, helping clients create memorable and impactful events from corporate functions to weddings and concerts. Beyond his professional success, Daniel's personal experiences have profoundly shaped his journey. He's been happily married to his wonderful wife, Tori Anderson, who's just to my right, and together they have 3 amazing children. The tragic loss of their son, Evan, was a pivotal moment in Daniel's life, highlighting the fragility of life and motivating him to pursue his dreams with even greater determination. Stratum Productions is a testament to his resilience and dedication. So please, everybody, join me in welcoming Daniel Anderson, a visionary leader, a devoted family man, and his family to our program. Welcome, guys. We're so excited.
Welcome. So glad to have you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us this morning.
This is just awesome to see everybody sitting here at the table today.
I love it.
It's a full table.
It's a full table.
I bet dinner time's fun.
That's right. There's always something challenging.
That's right.
I thought, Dan, to just get started, let's start with the early years. Can you just tell the audience, because people may not know your background, where you're from, and how this began?
Absolutely. So I am a Nebraska kid through and through, right? Grew up in Western Nebraska, graduated high school from Ogallala. Have still, my family ranches out there, 4th, maybe going close to 5th generation ranching. So I am, again, a Nebraska kid through and through. I miss Nebraska when I leave. Anyways, fast forward a little bit out of high school, I looked at pursuing a career in audiovisual, but I looked at a couple of schools and realized, man, this is $150,000, $160,000 for an 18-month certificate.
Wow.
That seems like I wasn't the smartest 18-year-old, but I knew that that was not a good financial decision, right? And one of the professors actually said, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna go wipe nacho cheese off cables in a warehouse for $12 an hour. And I knew that was going to happen in a Las Vegas, a Los Angeles, and Nashville. With that much student debt and that low of a pay rate, I knew that I would have to probably live with 10 other people. It was not a good path forward. Anyways, wasn't going anywhere fast. Still in my hometown. Ended up joining the military. Spent a lot of time in the Army and the Army National Guard. 13 years. Ended up getting medically discharged in 2021, 2022. So that's been one of those parallel paths for us. And that established a lot of good habits in me, right? The military kind of worked some of that bad out of me and helped me put a good head on my shoulders and figure out what I wanted to move forward and do. I honestly thought I would spend the 40 years of my life in the military. I was really good at that. I advanced way faster than a lot of my peers did. So,
oh, that's awesome. What were some of the goals and dreams early on in high school? What did you think about wanting to do? What did your parents want you to do?
My mom was probably the most open-ended human being on the face of the earth. She's like, "Is whatever makes you happy, just go do that." Right. I had a lot of trial and error through high school. I worked a lot of jobs, learned a lot of things that I didn't want to do, learned a lot of things that I did want to do. The biggest thing was I didn't want to go to school. Right. I just did not do well in school. I had a guidance counselor who said, maybe you should just go get a job. Right. I think we just looked at my GPA. I'm a 2.0 student, right? Not a great student, right? Usually those poor students make better entrepreneurs. I just didn't realize that at that point in my life. And I actually started working at a campground in Ogallala, just south of the interstate.
Wow.
And the owner of that graduated from like 8th grade. And had a wildly successful business, right? I ended up connecting with him, working for him for 4 or 5 years, and he really inspired me to be able to go pursue whatever I wanted to do. So the music, the entertainment, that kind of stuff was always in the back burner.
There, wasn't it?
I just never had a mentor that said, hey, if you go do this, you can actually go pursue this. I just grew up in a small town, and I was like, well, there's no possibility of that.
Dan, why don't you real quick introduce your family?
Yeah. So to my left is my oldest son, Elijah. You might have just seen my daughter, Emmy. She was kind of sliding through the camera frame, being a producer's nightmare right there. And then my wife, and then youngest son, Enzo, over there.
Well, and welcome everybody. Tori, why don't you jump in? How did you guys meet? How did this union begin?
Yeah, we met in college at Kearney. So we both were in the fraternity and sorority life there. But Daniel was only there for a little over a year. We had multiple classes together and
there we go.
Shared common interests there. Our fraternity and sorority shared a cafeteria. So we met that way, just through fraternity and sorority life. And then he left for a deployment actually in 2011. And we stayed in contact and through a roundabout way back when Skype was popular.
Oh yeah.
Very popular.
Yeah.
We were like doing the dating thing over Skype. And we eventually, like halfway through his deployment, he was like, so are we like dating? Like, are we official? And then he came home on his leave from deployment in August, and unbeknownst to me, he had already asked my family if we could get married, if he could propose. And his last day home, he had asked me to marry him. And then he came home in December of 2011. And then less than 2 months later, we were married. So
wow,
That's
it
awesome.
was quick, fast. We knew what we wanted, and we weren't willing to waste any time. So
Well, family is so important, and due to time, and I really want to jump into the heart of the show today, because I really wanted to honor your son, Evan.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, when I looked at the website, and it brings tears to I get choked up talking about it. So does Sherry, and we'll tell you why a little bit here as we go into the show about the event of something like this. Why don't, if you tell us what you can tell us, the events leading up to Evan. What was the situation?
Yeah, I mean, it was a normal routine pregnancy, right? My wife went into her 38-week appointment. They found a really slow heart rate. I think it was 72 beats per minute, which for a baby is
Very
incredibly slow.
Mm-hmm.
Her doctor made quick decisions like, we got to go to the hospital, do an emergency C-section. They got over to the hospital. By that point, he'd already passed away, but they were able to get him out. resuscitated. It took like 12 minutes to resuscitate him, right? And I spent a lot of time as a volunteer firefighter in my time in Oglala, and I knew 12 minutes is a long time, right? The other ironic part about this is when she said, "Hey, I'm going to this appointment. It's just routine," right? I stayed home with Elijah that morning. We only had one car. I mean, we were going through it, right? We were a new family, didn't have a lot of money, those types of things. So she called me just crying, like, "Hey, we're going to the hospital. Something's wrong." And I remember just feeling so helpless in that moment, right? Like, what do I even do? I can't even drive to the hospital or anything like that. Anyways, fast forward a little bit, C-section, they got Evan out, 12 minutes to resuscitate him. They ended up getting him resuscitated, but there's just so much damage at that point, right? I was finally able to find a friend who was able to come over to our house. I borrowed his car, went to the hospital as fast as I could. And I just remember the doctor looking at me like, he's alive. We just don't know yet. Right.
Right.
And Tori was still coming out of surgery. And she's like, "Hey, just make sure they don't give him formula." And I just remember looking at her and saying, like, that's the least of our worries right now.
I just didn't know the gravity of what.
Yeah. And she just had no perspective of what was happening. So we did everything that we could as a parent. Right. I remember I didn't even contemplate the cost of anything. Right. I just signed whatever paperwork came my way. Let's do whatever we can to figure this out. 48 hours and 40 minutes later, he passed away, right? I mean, the nurses came up early in the morning and said, "Hey, this is probably it for him. No matter what we do, it's just not improving his wellness." And they gave us a choice. They said, he can live on a machine for the rest of his life, or you guys can make the decision. And
you can pull, his life-saving efforts, and we can just see what happens. And, we gave it to God and decided that's what we wanted to do. And we decided that's the path we wanted to take. And so
talk a little bit about how, the situation, you're going to the hospital, of course, initially it's joy, it's hopeful, family. This comes out of the blue, happens. Sometimes this can tear families apart.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes this can cause a lot of pain, emotional pain, physical pain. How did you work it out? What was your next steps? Did you come together? Just share that a little bit emotionally. I think a lot of people in the community are hurting. This happens. I'm sure there's someone out there that maybe has experienced this right now, doesn't know what to do. I'd like to hear how you worked it through.
Yeah, I think my mind, and this is probably a fault and a benefit of the military, right, is you just have to keep going, right? There's no time to grieve. There's no time to mourn. So you have to figure out a way to just piece it together and continue to move forward. And I think that was my philosophy for a long time. And I knew that she wasn't doing well.
Right.
So we had to have a foundation to stand on, and I had to be that foundation. So I just made a decision. Look, there's only one way out of this, and this is forward. We can either choose to sulk in this and be miserable, or we can choose to honor him. And we really pushed as hard as we could to the honoring piece. We've since donated a tree to the NICU at Bryan East. We used to go do a bunch of 5Ks and those types of things. We had a time where Tori was making, we call them Evans Hugs, but they're basically tubes of polyester that we donated to the NICU to help the NICU babies with their airways. So they still use them. And the nurses still to this day talk about those things. So in those direct moments after that, we really just chose.
We didn't think of each other as the enemy. We didn't paint. Yeah. It was neither of our faults. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that we had to remember in those early moments, in the early days, was that we were not the cause of the issue.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we just had to remember that we had to focus on what we could do in that moment, and that was to honor the little boy that we lost.
Sherry, you may want to take over in this question, and this is directed toward Tori. I know being a mother, being a woman, and losing a child. Sherry also has lost a child. Sherry, why don't you take I think there should be a few lady moments here to ask a few basic questions that maybe men don't understand.
Well, and a couple things that Daniel said just really resonated. Just really resonated. I was telling Tori that I looked at a couple things on her Facebook and the pictures. You know, I know when I had to make the decision last March to either let my daughter, who I still call my baby, even though she was just a couple months shy of 31, she was also special needs, had disabilities. She had a very rare genetic disease in her brain that was no treatment and no cure. And they told me that when she was 14. And we were so blessed to have her, gosh, what, another 17 years. Watch the progression, which was hard. My profession was in the medical profession. I was a medical assistant. So, and I was telling Tori, sometimes it's good to have that knowledge. Sometimes it's not so good. But I was met with the decision, okay, here's the deal. We thought she had a virus. I mean, I took her in because I knew she was dehydrating. And ICU, they admitted her to the ICU just because her blood counts were off. They thought she was septic. Okay, next day she's doing great. You know, and she was tube fed by that point. I tube fed her and stuff. My 2 older daughters came up, said, Mom, you haven't slept, go home to get some rest. We'll stay here with her. 4 hours later, they're calling me hysterical. They're literally running her up. She quit breathing. They're putting her on a vent. 2 weeks later, after numerous testing, couldn't find anything. Well, a week later, I pushed him, do an MRI. I know it's this ugly brain thing. Sure enough, it was. Waited to kind of get things to calm down. And yes, it progressed to the part of her brain that tells you to breathe. So you have 2 choices. You either take her off the vent or they put in a trach, but not just a trach, then the vent on top of the trach. She lives in a long-term care facility. I couldn't do that to her. She was so full of life. But looking at your pictures, and this is something I have numerous friends that have lost. I'm sorry, Harrison. Numerous friends that have lost children. And my mom lost 2 children. And, you know, kids are so attached to their fathers and their mothers. But I think it's a little different from a mom's standpoint because those babies actually have your blood life, your blood flowing through them, pouring into them. Not only that, but where did the babies grow? Yeah, in your uterus, but where's your uterus? Right underneath your heart. You know, so it's different for men and women, I think. And looking at the pictures before, and I just met these guys. I just met these guys this morning. But looking at the pictures, I could see on your face how strong you were, how supportive you were, how hard you were working to keep it together for her. Because, and I could see the grief on your face, but it's 2 different kinds of grief, I think. And you know, the grief on your face, I recognized. I felt the grief on your face. But, you know, the thing that impressed me one of the couple things you just said in the past couple minutes is that, you know, and Mike has said this to me with Hannah, because I wanted to curl up in a fetal position. I wanted to curl up in a fetal position and shut the curtains and be done with everything. But he kept saying, you have to honor her. You have to honor her. You have to move forward. We have to keep doing these things. We have to keep, this was a few months before we got the radio show. We had just had the book published.
Wow.
We have to keep pushing through this to honor her. And he was right, 100% right. And I think if people listening out there are going through this, have lost a child, or in the process of a child being terminally ill, you have to keep honoring them, no matter what the outcome is. And the other thing I wanted to throw out there super quick is that, you know, you talked about the staff. These people that work in ICU, especially pediatrics, I couldn't do pediatrics. I worked in cancer, adult cancer.
Yeah.
That was hard enough. But, you know, these people truly are superheroes. They're superheroes, and what they see. And you get, I don't care what you say, no matter what medical field you work in, you get emotionally attached to your patients.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's as much loss for them, not quite as the same as the parent or the families, but it is still a loss for them.
Tori, do you want to make any comments or share any thoughts at that
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah. I think, you know, Sherry's completely right. Like, it is a piece of you that dies alongside of your child. But you do have to keep moving forward. You do have to keep pushing alongside, because if it weren't for, the strength that Daniel had in those early days, I probably wouldn't have gotten out of bed, and I wouldn't have kept moving forward. And we probably wouldn't have, 2 other beautiful children on this earth without that strength. And
Absolutely.
so, and on the heels of the strength of the NICU doctors and nurses and those people who continually get up and do that every single day. We visit every year on Evan's birthday and sometimes in between. And those women and men, they remember us. They remember us.
Yeah.
And that means more to us. It's 9 years. 9 years have passed and they still know us by name. They know Evan by name. They remember our story. And it's not just us. I know that they do that for, but it's so many other families and so many other people. And I think sometimes we forget that they're walking through things every single day with other families. And sometimes we see that frustration, or we see that short-endedness as like, oh, they're coming at us with some sort of an attitude. Well, they're not. They're also walking other people's struggles every single day. And I think it's so easy for us to forget that when we're just seeing them in one short moment. But it's good to remember that they have so many families that they're walking with.
2 things we noticed in a picture I thought was really sweet. One was the cake.
Yeah.
I think that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Every year.
But tell us about the teddy bear.
So the teddy bear, there's actually a couple of organizations that we were connected with afterwards. The teddy bears actually weighted the same weight that Evan was when he was born. So it's like a grief bear. And there's organizations out of Omaha. We connected with a couple of organizations out of Denver and places like that they donate these care packages after you have an infant die or pass away. So the bear has always been special to us, and we call it Evan Bear, right? It stays at home.
True.
Our kids play with Evan Bear. Evan Bear is a part of our family, right? That's been
in our family picture.
That's
in our family
what just
pictures.
blew me away. I knew right away when I was looking at your family pictures. It's like that bear represents that baby.
It's a
boy.
placeholder for Evan. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is really, really, really sweet. How did it test your faith?
Oh, every way possible, probably, right?
I think the easier answer is how it didn't.
How didn't it test your faith, right?
Right.
I mean, I was angry. Like, there's still a picture at Brian East of a dad holding a baby, and I'm like, I'll never get that.
Yeah.
We just saw it on Evan's birthday when we took a cake up there. Sorry. But I mean, it hardened our faith in a lot of ways because we made the decision. We had to actively make the decision. Like, there's only one way that we can press into, and this is the only thing that can hold this together. But it also challenged us of asking why a lot, right? Like, why do these things happen, right?
Why us?
Why us? Why this child?
Why now?
Right.
Why
now? I mean, so there were a lot of just why questions that popped up. And honestly, the only thing for me personally, and Tori could talk to this obviously, but it's just been time, right? Reconciling that over time. Because now on this side of it, we can see a lot more of why that happened, right? That's been a defining moment in our story. That's been one of those placeholders that changed everything for our family. So now I understand why.
And I think we've both settled, and maybe I'm speaking for Daniel, but me specifically, I've settled. I may not get the answers to those questions until I'm standing before the Lord one day and I get to say, hey, I want to know why Evan died. Yep. I'm ready to have that answer because we don't have answers. Like, there was no medical reason why Evan should have died. He was healthy. He was everything was about him was healthy. It's just he died.
I'll be standing right behind you with a lot of those questions.
Tori, we need to take a quick break and we'll come back with a little bit more and we'll finish up on this segment right here. We'll be right back.
New year, new you. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th. But if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, Head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back in. What's Next 24? Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, you guys can join in, use the stream, Starter Heyman text line. We got plenty of show left here. 2 more segments. With that being said, I'll throw it over to the host, Mike and Sherry.
Thank you, Harrison. Now, this is a wonderful show today. I'm just so proud of this moment that we're having with Daniel and Tori Anderson, because a lot of our book Next 24 is available at Barnes and Noble. And the book cover says, discover happiness and true joy in your life while you create a legacy. As we'll look at this book in terms of going through challenges, going through problems to try to lift yourself up, you've either got a choice to either stay down or get back up. And with that being said, I wanted to go into the final question regarding Evan. Was you mentioned that this event was both the worst and best things that could have happened. Can you explain how it became a catalyst for growth and purpose in your life?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think everybody has a choice when they find something like this in their life, right? We can either choose to let it destroy us, or we can choose to let it motivate us towards our purpose, right? And I think one of the things that I did is Evan's life made me realize life is incredibly too short, and we should pursue exactly what we want to do, no matter anybody else's opinions. And what I had really learned up to that point was I was following everybody else's opinion of what my life should have been, right? I was believing things that were being said that may not be true, but it was their opinion. They were telling me. So it was in that moment I really realized I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing in life. I needed to have maybe a hard reset and look at some different options out there instead of staying in the comfort zone that I had really found myself in.
Oh, that's exactly right. Yeah. That happened to me too. You have that aha moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And you realize that if you continue living the life you're living, you're going to die a very unhappy, unfulfilled individual.
Yeah.
That was the moment that hit with me. I was listening to a video one time called Les Brown's death speech.
Yeah.
Have you heard it?
Absolutely.
It's that where he says, you never wrote that book. You created that idea. And now these ideas must die with you, basically was the speech. That sparked me to hit that. So when you had that aha moment, you have to move forward. What was your plan?
There was no plan, right? The plan was figure out how to make this thing work. There's no formal training that I have going into the industry that I wanted to go into.
Introduce the business.
Yeah.
Tell us the business.
So I founded Stratum Productions. We're a live audio video solution company. We've actually been very fortunate over the last year to serve the entire nation. We're traveling with a lot of clients. We do a lot of corporate work, primarily advisory meetings, general sessions, breakout rooms. We've all been to a conference, right? So that's what we do, and we're really just passionate about producing events that impact people's lives. So I had no formal training in that, right? I had somebody at church say, "Hey, you want to run lights?" And I'm like, "Cool." Like, I kind of get back into this thing, right? And then I realized, oh, there's a lot more to this than I need to know. And I really focused on the business piece, right? So right after Evan had passed away, I just got to work on learning what do I need to do to make it a formal business, right? And moving forward, and it took months and months of research on my end because I didn't go find anybody to help guide me at that point, right? I asked some good questions, but by the time Emmy was born, so this is be 7, almost 8 years ago, I started the business a month before she was born. Because I was like, oh, I got to get this thing going, or else I'm never going to do it. If she's born, we're going to get caught up in the rotation of life. So I ended up starting that business. The official formation was like May 10th, 2017. and she was born June 9th. So something I never recommend to anybody is don't start a business and have a kid. Like,
Don't do it.
you're crazy. Anyways, but I would stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning every night, make sure that she was okay as a baby, and just learn. I would go to YouTube. I would go on just like Q&A boards on the internet and just figure out, hey, what are people doing? What are they using? How do I get further into this industry as somebody who's in their late 20s, no experience, Lincoln's a beautiful city, but it's not a prime like conference or live event city, right?
Right.
It's not. You think of Nashville, you think of Las Vegas, you think of Orlando, Dallas.
Even Kansas City.
Yeah, even Kansas City. So how do I learn these things in a non-ideal place, right?
So take us down the path.
Yeah.
First show, first job.
First show, first job. Lawrence and Gardens.
Lawrence and Gardens.
Terrible.
Wow.
It was a wedding. We did string lighting. I look back at that picture and I'm like, my goodness, thank you for grace.
He made custom planter boxes for the string light bases.
So we did a custom string light installation, and I was still in the military at the time, and I remember it was Hurricane Irma.
Yeah.
We had to go respond to Hurricane Irma. So I remember trying to catch the first flight out of Florida to get back home to custom make these things in a day and a half
In our garage.
to get it to this wedding, because I'm like, these people have paid me like $600. And at that point I was like,
that's a lot
of money.
They're paying us money. So we ended up doing that. And man, I'm not proud of that, but I'm also proud of that.
Tell us about because I want to make sure because I look at your website. Tell us how they can find you, and tell us their business today. You've been in Baxter Arena. Tell us some of the big.
Absolutely.
stores.
Yeah. We've really progressed, really fortunate to work with a lot of amazing clients, right? So stratumpro.com is our website. I'm huge on LinkedIn, so you can connect with me there. Love to put a lot of insight out for the event industry on that platform. Highlights, from $600 to now we're doing 6-figure, almost 7-figure conferences and shows all across the country. And again, it's really for us, a lot of people are like, man, it must be so cool to stand in front of house and look at the stage or look at whatever you're presenting. I said, no, you got to turn around, get some good perspective. When you can watch somebody like a sales kickoff meeting for a conference, we have the opportunity to change people's lives. Like that generation wealth can be created there because of the information that was sent from the stage to these people. So I love looking at the audience. Everybody can leave their problems at the door, can leave their old selves at the door and come in and become a new version of themselves if they want. And that's what really empowers and motivates our team to create great events.
When did you know you turned the corner?
I don't know if I will ever feel that way. Right. That's that entrepreneurial thing. It's always burning. It's always falling apart. I would say 2020 was one of those things, right? Another fork in the road. I just resigned from my full-time job in the military in December of 2019 because we were projected to have amazing growth through 2020. The pandemic happened. None of that happened, right? We lost. I watched $500,000 worth of business blow out the door that March, right? As somebody who just quit their job with no other income stream, I was terrified at that point. But I really just focused on, hey, how can we get better? How can we serve the people that we can within the scope of what we can do? And at the end of 2020, that's another one of those things that I'm incredibly grateful for. And I have a lot of conversation with other people in the industry who have a different opinion, right? But if that can't kill us, then nothing can, right? As long as my stupidity stays out of the way, if a global pandemic that basically shut down and destroyed the live entertainment industry can't kill us as a company, then I think we've got a pretty good fighting chance.
It sounds like it took a leap of faith.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What is your biggest show you've ever done?
So our team is actually, some of them are flying back from Salt Lake today. We just helped produce a 24,000 person event out in Salt Lake. We were just brought in as a subcontractor, of course, but that's a 24,000 person 4-day show out there. It takes about 10 days total to get everything in and out.
Wow.
Really a safe place for us, if you will say, is like 1,000 to 2,000 person general session or breakout rooms.
Well, here's a bit challenge. Being an entrepreneur is one thing. You mentioned a team. Now you got to bring people on board because you can't do it all yourself.
Correct.
So how'd you take that next step?
Poorly at first, I think.
Sure,
right?
absolutely, sure.
There's a lot of trial and error in that again, we're in an area that doesn't have, I would say, the top tier talent. There's not a lot of people who are great producers out here, right? Those people move to the Nashvilles. They move to where there's more work. So it's taken a lot of time for us to grow a team. It takes a lot of personal investment on our end because I'm also very, what's the right word?
Ever evolving.
Yeah, it's ever evolving. But there's also a very high standard that I want to go out and set because in our industry, you're only as good as your last show. So if your last show was bad, I mean, moving forward, you could have a lot of that. So it's just been a lot of trial and error in that regard, finding people that have great character and then training those skills to them.
What's your niche?
What's our niche?
The business niche.
Yeah, corporate. So we do a lot of leadership conferences, actually. Like Chris Singleton, Damon West,
wow,
Terry Pettit. A lot of those people have been able to stand on a stage and present to conferences that we've been at. And anything corporate, right? If you need to go have a fundraiser, training meetings, those types of things. I think we were able to help nonprofits raise almost $10 million last year.
Wow.
Through live event, just in the local area. So galas, nonprofit events, conferences, sales kickoffs.
And Tori, tell me, what have you learned along the way as a family? This has got to be a heck of a journey. Owning your own business, it's a dream, it's a love, it's a passion, but it's also a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. You got to pay the bills. There's a lot of uncertain things that come away. Share that as a family. What's been the journey?
Yeah, I think the biggest learning curve has been that the show dictates the schedule. We can't pick when a show decides when they want to schedule their event. So that might be a kid's birthday. It might be our anniversary. It might be whatever it might be. And we have to remain flexible in that. And we are just looking at it as, hey, if it's our anniversary, we're going to plan to celebrate the week before or the week after or whatever that is. It's just a day to us. And we see it as we're leaving a legacy for our family. And we're going to put our best foot forward for our clients so that they can have the best event possible.
We talk about legacy. What does that mean to you?
Legacy to us is to be able to hand something off to the next generation, right? Tori and I both firmly believe that we will see a lot of the fruits of the business, but we're not going to see all of them, right? Our goal is to leave something that can impact lives for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation, right? And I think our kids have had a front seat.
I think they've had the best seat.
Yeah, they've had a front row seat to what not to do and what to do and how to serve people well, right? There's a book that we love on our team called Unreasonable Hospitality. We have absolutely just put that through and through, and that's how we operate as a family. We just sat down. We had a busy week, and we bought pizza for the kids, and we just had to go sit at our warehouse till from like 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. What kid wants to do that, right? So we enticed them with pizza. But we all had a conversation. We're like, what do we love most? And it comes down to the root. We just love to serve people. So legacy to us is to have a lasting legacy on something that serves other people.
Exactly.
Elijah, do you help Dad in the business?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you? What do you do?
Help around, like put tape over cables.
He helps in the warehouse.
Awesome.
I mean, we were fortunate to help. Howard Hawks was a great entrepreneur out of Omaha. We were just asked to do his funeral at the Baxter Arena. Elijah went with me. It was 10:30 at night. He helped me set everything up as they flipped the room, right? So he's going to be a little humble.
He runs cables from speakers. I mean, the kid can set up lights better than I can.
Yeah.
Wow. But here's the big question, Elijah. What does Dad pay you per hour?
Probably
Tell
pizza.
him the truth. Tell him the truth, Elijah.
Sometimes it's $12, sometimes it's nothing.
But
Sometimes it's pizza.
But what do we say, Elijah? You're paid what?
By how much work I produce.
By the value you produce in the
let
hour,
me
right?
tell you,
Very
these
good.
are some amazing parents right here.
Yeah, some
people.
good
Take
life
note.
lessons. Okay. Looking at Harrison, we got to take another break, and we'll be right back.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy new year. They are thankful for many things from 2023 and hope that 2024 brings prosperity for you and starts off well for everyone in your life. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com. Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24, Michael Worrell and Sherry Tills.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, What's Next 24. Mike Sherry, the host as always. Don't got a whole lot of time here left, so I'll throw it right over to those guys.
Well, welcome back. We're just closing out our last segment here, and we're here with Stratum Live Productions with Dan and Tori. You mentioned books. The value of books. We think about that too, how the books can change your mindset, your thought moving forward. Tell us about the importance of reading books.
I think books are probably one of the fastest way to gain new perspective. There's a lot of people who spend their entire life developing those thought processes, those thought experiments, and gaining that knowledge. And then they put that in a book for you that you can spend $15-$20 for and gain a lifetime worth of knowledge. I think that's invaluable to me. Something I always talk about is how do I reduce our time horizon? So how do we get to the goal faster? And that's by other people's knowledge, other people's wisdom. Reading is one of those key things for us.
Tori, well, this is for both of you. Do you have a favorite book lately that you recommend?
I think I mentioned it. It's Unreasonable Hospitality. That is us through and through. If you've not read that book, it's phenomenal. It just talks about how to give people more than they expect.
Excellent.
And how to make that happen.
Sure. I think you had a few questions.
Just super quick. What does the why? I think I know the answer to this, but what does the why mean in your life? What is the why? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the reason that we continue to do things, the reason that we continue to push forward is to honor Evan, right? I think that's the biggest why for us. We just had this conversation a couple months ago. I said, I think we might have lost touch a little bit on honoring his life through this. So we need to refocus on that.
Mm-hmm.
This is less about what Daniel and Tori can create, and it's more about what can we help people experience, and how can we honor people through that. And that's just probably our biggest why through continuing to build this business.
And the way you're raising your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an investment.
You guys have blown me out of the water with some things you said, and even just being around your kids. They are so well behaved. They are so, you can just see the unit here.
Yeah. Well, I want to say this real quick. Commend you both for turning what could have been maybe a negative into really a positive.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's what Evan would want.
Absolutely.
That's what Hannah would want. Of course, we talk about that all the time. We've only got a few minutes left, so we're just thinking about this. What's the plan for the family and business moving forward?
Keep doing what we're doing.
Moving forward.
Yeah, keep moving forward.
We always say that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like that quote.
That's awesome. Tell us how the teamwork works between both of you in business.
Poorly sometimes. No, I'm joking, right?
My boss can be kind of a meanie sometimes.
Yeah, no. I think it's all about finding the strengths and skills that each other possess and continuing to push forward through that. And it's trust, right? Tori and I talk about this all the time too. I think she's the person I most trust. And in business, one mistake can ruin a lot of trust and reputation. So being able to work alongside her is a privilege each and every day because we're both pushing towards the same.
Well,
same mission.
let me ask you, what's your greatest strength in your business for you?
My greatest strength is just meeting people and making sure that I hear their needs and be able to fulfill those needs.
And Tori, how about you?
Yeah, I think it's mostly back end stuff, taking care of our freelancers and the guys who go on show and planning.
We've only got about a minute left. This is a fantastic moment. This is the most special moment of the show where I turn the mic. I'm going to turn the mic over to Tori and Dan, and you get to say anything you'd like to say to the community.
Go ahead, Tori. You can go first.
Well, we love Lincoln. We love this city, and we're excited to continue to see it grow and evolve and change and everything it has.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll echo that. Lincoln is home to us. I've not been in Lincoln for a long amount of time, but it's turned into home. We love the people. We love the opportunities that Lincoln has ahead of it, and can't wait to see what that entails.
Well, as we wrap up and close, Sherry, you got any final thoughts for today?
Not today, no. I have to say that these guests have just really blown me out of the water. And I'm not, as you all know, I'm not usually speechless, but I'm pretty much speechless today.
Well, as we wrap up, I just wanted to say thank you for telling your story, explaining your why, your focus, and your goals. Congratulations. We want to congratulate you on what you're doing today. And with that, Harrison, thank you, Harrison. And we'll wrap up, and we'll see you next week with another show.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right to the source through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right?